second pick in the 2019 NFL Draft, the San Francisco 49ers select Nick Bosa, defensive end, Ohio State.
So Nick will play his ball out on the West Coast in Northern California, and we all know his brother plays it in Southern California. His father also a first-round selection, so the Bosas, you'll see in a second, join some pretty respectable company in the NFL in that department. And DJ, you were telling me that scouts throughout the NFL were drooling over this kid being a prospect coming in, and now he's in the National Football League.
Last year, you remember when Sam Darnold was coming out, people were critical of how he played against Ohio State. That guy walking right there is why he didn't play well in that game. He hit him repeatedly. He dominated when he was on the football field. Needs to stay healthy, but everything I've heard is he is 100% healthy and ready to go. I think the 49ers just got the best football player in this year's draft.
And you think about what they did up front. They spent a lot of money on that defensive front, but now you've got D Ford who can rush on one side. You've got Bosa on the other side. DeForest Buckner, who had 12 sacks last year. And, Coach, as you mentioned, right, you got Solomon Thomas, who's been playing defensive end. He can now move inside where he's at his best.
Absolutely. And we get to Nick Bosa. Look, it is the family business. Get a chance to watch his brother Joey each and every week. The hands and the hips, they're off the charts. The only concern, the durability, was some of the time that he's missed. Let's look at the comparison between the brothers. How about a little double hand swipe from Nick? And if that looks familiar, working against Maryland here, get that swipe and finish. It's because you've seen Big Brother do the exact same thing. Ironically, on this one, looks like the former quarterback of the Arizona Cardinals and Josh Rosen. How about a little forklift? Lift that wrist up in the air, that hand-to-hand combat. That's what the Bosa boys are so good at, working against TCU, get home and force the fumble. And Joey's been doing that since he got into the league, the exact same move. They are technicians. They can win with a little quickness off the edge, and they can go right through your pads. They're slightly different players. I think Nick plays with a little more power and a little more leverage. He can even kick inside and rush over a guard if you want, but it's going to be fun to watch him in that defensive front. You mentioned it, Kurt. They've got some assets up front now for this defense.
It's going to be exciting, and you mentioned it. You mentioned two of the three things for me, because he can play with that power. He's got that speed off the edge. If you don't kick on this guy, he's going to hit you fast. He's going to hit your quarterback. You saw it twice, and the quarterback's getting the top of his drop, and he gets hit. But the other thing this guy has is a nasty inside move. It is a scary inside move, so you can't play him over the top. You can't play him underneath. You got to try and play him straight, and you better chip him.